Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to Double Advantage, a D&D podcast where half of us have no idea what's going on at any given moment. It's complete and utter chaos, but guess what? We love it. I am your Dungeon Master, John, and along with me, like always, are my beautiful friends, and let's go ahead and get them introduced, starting off with Mr. Blazing Torchic.
Hello everybody, my name is Blazing Torchic, and in this D&D game, I play Malon Sakado, the male wood elf who is a rogue of the soul knife archetype. I am also known as the Crimson Champion because my knives are red like blood, however, they draw no blood. Because I have psychic knives. I can throw them, I can stab, I can do loads of cool things with them. And yeah, that's my character.
Hell yeah, go ahead and check out his shenanigans in the last episode. Oh boy, was that one a fucking doozy and a half. But up next, we have BryceKrispie.
What's up, guys? BryceKrispie here, and I play Volstagg the Forgotten, who is a half-orc druid who is just kind of coming into his own in the series, learning all new tricks, but catch me mostly wild shaping into different animals and either fighting or spying, whatever fits the purpose.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and check him out. All the links down below. And unfortunately, for this episode, we do not have our cleric of the group, Scald, aka Datsunami. But all is well, and we hope to have him back again next time. So, with that, let's go ahead and get into a couple of things before we get started. Our continued collaboration with the lovebracelet.org, helping to fight against domestic violence. They sell beautiful bracelets. You can give them to significant others, family members, whatever you want. They make high-quality bracelets. Tsunami himself has some bracelets that he had purchased and says that they are top tier. So go ahead, buy yourself, treat yourself. And go ahead and use coupon code ADVANTAGEDOUBLE for 30% off your purchase. And if you go ahead and get a bracelet, go ahead and send it to us, DM us on Twitter, something like that. We'll post it. It'll be a great time. And last but certainly not least, the artists of the group. We have Mitch Ninja, Renny, Texas, and special shout out to our homeboy, Carl Huber, who made the beautiful thing that you see on screen right now, which is the logo for the Light Breakers. It has been quite a long time in the works, and I am not exaggerating when I say that. We've been working on this for a very long time, trying to get it perfect, and we finally ended up with a result that we are proud of. So go ahead, all the artists, we have 3 now. We have the holy trinity of artists at our disposal. So go ahead, check them out. Show them some love. And without further ado, did I miss anything? I think I'm good. I'm not used to having a person missing, so it kind of threw me for a loop. Any other announcements, though, before we get into it?
Nope.
Well, shit. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into episode 25? That can't be right.
4 of the way to 100.
Oh my god, we're a fourth of the way. Episode 25 of Double Advantage. In the last episode, our intrepid adventurers, known as the Light Breakers, traveled their way to the city of Zota to meet with Buksabi's sister Undala and her family. They stayed there for a couple of nights, laid low, especially for Sakado. Oh, that rhymed. And just enjoyed their time for once without having to go through the hustle and bustle, not having to deal with snake people in a city or deal with creatures on the ocean. They finally had a moment to just relax. And they went and enjoyed a beautiful carnival. Not a carnival, a circus. I guess those are intertwinable words. They went to the Great Perennial Circus, where they saw a plethora of different acts that were just pleasing. It was nice to sit down and not have to worry so much about stuff. And it was well-deserved for this group. They even obtained some new information about these artifacts known as ordinances that apparently Buksabi and Andala's sister... their parents had been searching for quite some time until their passing. And so they have that at their disposal, and now they said goodbye to Andala and family and began to make their way up, where they met Fibric Marblemite, a dwarven gentleman who was almost eaten by a hill giant himself. They saved him swiftly, performed extreme acts of strength, such as 2 critical hits with daggers, lightning bolts coming from the sky, and fireballs. R.I.P. the giant. But they met Fibric Marblemite, and he offered as payment for traveling with them to Snowcaster to provide something to Sakado as an act of gratitude. And with that, They begin to make their way closer and closer to the city of Snowcaster, and we zoom in as the crew begins to slowly make their way towards the city. So, you guys have some travel to do. We're looking at about, I would say, 3 days out from what the map is indicating. So we're going to go ahead and just simply somebody roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have our advantage.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have our perception advantage. I'm +4 on perception. What are you?
+3.
Okay, I'll go.
You turn around and you look in the cart and you see Skull.
21.
21. Not bad at all. So, you are sitting in the front, so you have a very good vantage point of everything. You're driving the horses, making sure that they're, staying healthy, not exerting too much of their force. And as you look out, you've kind of entered this area that has flattened out a little bit. It's still hilly, and it's still got a couple of trees here and there, but it's mostly a flat land. You can see pretty far ahead of you. You don't see anything coming in your direction. You kind of look behind you, and you don't see anything following you or trailing you. The only thing that you can see right now is that it does appear that a storm is coming in your direction. You can't really tell from this point how strong it's going to be, but you can see a storm brewing in the distance. But other than that, no dangers seem imminent. It is currently just you driving the cart and your companions with you as well. So Sakado, what would you be doing?
I'd probably just be sitting in the back of the cart, debating whether or not to interfere with Scald as he is somehow magically asleep again.
Yeah. He's perpetually sleeping, this guy is.
Yep. And I'll just be relaxing.
Or not.
But yeah, so you see Thibrick currently just like picking at his teeth with a little wood splinter that he pulled from the cart, using it as a toothpick, kind of just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the travels, not having to walk, which is a pleasure, actually. It feels good to not be on your feet all the damn time. So if there's anything any of you would like to do, roleplay-wise or other, let me know. Otherwise, we will proceed to the nighttime.
I just warn them about the storm coming.
You see Thibrick kind of come up through the little window, kind of like slide it open, looks up. Hey, that one looks like it's going to be a mighty one, is it not? What direction does it look like it's going?
Well, I know what direction it looks like it's going.
Yeah, you would know it's going like kind of a west, like a northwestern direction. So
is that
it actually looks
towards
like
us or away from us?
It actually looks like it's going away from you.
Okay. It does appear to be going away from us. It's a northwesternish breeze going.
That's good. It's better than coming right at us,
Yeah, because that storm does not look pretty. I'd hate to get caught up in it.
Alright, couldn't be any worse than what you've created, huh?
It could.
Well, as long as we don't have to worry about it, I'm sure it'll be fine. And he goes ahead and he continues to lay back, picking at his teeth. And looks at you, Sakura. You're just currently sitting. You're just relaxing. Right?
Yeah.
Are you disguised?
Yes, I have still been casting Disguise Self this entire time.
Okay. He looks at you. Well, so where are you guys from?
I just shoot Sakado with the lance.
I'm from Port Tinsley.
Aye, Port Tinsley. It's a small one. Kind of boring, bland. It's nice enough, though. What was that like growing up there?
Well, I really enjoyed going fishing with my dad. It was lots of fun.
Right. Make a deception check.
Oh boy. Where's the deception? There it is. Come on, +6. Keep me going. 14.
Okay. I never been one for a fisherman, but I don't knock it till I try it. So to each their own. I'm more of a I like to stay inside. like to work on my craft rather than dilly-dally outside for hours at a time waiting for something that may never come.
That's understandable. It's admirable that you put so much time into your craft.
Well, how else do you be the best?
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Why. Agreed. Practice does indeed make perfect.
Vibrant, you're getting so much out of Sakado. I've known this man for months and didn't know he fished. Why haven't we fished yet, Sakado?
I guess we've just never had an opportunity.
Well, next time we're near a river, I've got my extra pole.
He has his eye raised. Right, is Sakado your last name then?
Oh yes, sorry. Sign called Sakado.
Right, okay. I was confused there for a minute. I was like, I thought his name was Seinko. Makes a lot more sense. I'm not the smartest one in the basket, so my apologies for that.
No worries. I should have told you beforehand.
No, it's quite alright. I mean, to be fair, I'm not entitled to any information at all about you.
It's fine.
I just like to pry, get whatever I can out of people. Right, you, big fella, where are you from?
The Kilmark Heights.
You live in a mountain?
Yeah. Small, woodland area near the base of the mountains where I was raised.
Ah, nomad. Understandable. What was that like?
Very interesting. Kind of. You had to earn your food, earn your rights to live. But taught me a lot about the land and nature, so.
Clearly did wonders for you.
It.
I mean, you lived outside for so long, you learned how to summon lightning from the sky. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is.
It's definitely something that I had been trying to harness for a while now. Finally got a grip, but I don't feel like I have complete control over it yet.
Like I said.
Part of the reason we're on our journey.
Practice makes perfect. So, you'll get there. I think all it takes is a little time. And if you can get a word in with the Arcanist, I'm sure he can help you out too.
I hope so.
Well then, I think I'm gonna rest my eyes for a little bit, like your good old friend over there, and call it for a couple of minutes. And you just turn over, see Scald. He really is just sound asleep, isn't he?
Yes, he, I don't know how he does it. He can just fall asleep at the snap of a finger.
And he just doesn't wake up?
Well, there are ways of waking him up. And I just smirk a little bit.
I have an idea, if you're interested.
Oh, do go on.
He pulls out from a little satchel on his side. The one thing that wasn't taken from me, this little pouch on the side. The giant ate everything else, all my food and all my stuff, but I have this. And he pulls out an ink and quill. How are your?
I do believe I enjoy this.
How are your artistic abilities, my friend?
I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I'm certainly not inept at it.
Well, here, consider it another gift from your friend Thybrick Marblemite.
Why, thank you. I'll make very good use of this gift.
I'm so excited to see what you do with it. And you now have an ink and quill at your disposal to do with what you wish. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have to miss a game of my D&D stuff. Okay, you're gonna get fucking bullied.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
All right. So you watch as Thybrick goes to sleep, closes his eyes, rests to take a nap. So Volstagg, what are you doing while you're driving the cart? You know, talking to yourself, thinking, half playing with Scheller, the horses, anything? You're just looking around? Like, what's your thought process right here?
Kind of just looking around, taking in the area. It's the terrain's still a little unfamiliar, but it's getting more like home as we get more towards the mountains. So I'm just kind of taking it all in, thinking about, being able to get back to where I'm from and kind of relive some of my old memories.
Yeah.
But for the most part, just kind of relaxing, traveling, watching the horses, make sure they're good.
Yep, they're doing well, keeping a good pace up, not exerting themselves too much, in stable condition. And Sakado, you have this ink vial and a feather, a quill, at your disposal. What do you want to do?
I will save it for later.
Okay.
He says he has something for me. I now have another weapon.
Okay. Good to know. Alrighty, so with that, eventually you will find a place to bed down for the night. Easy enough to set up camp. Volstagg, along with Scald, who wakes up finally. You guys go ahead, you build a fire, set up a nice ground for everything, and eventually are now just sitting at the fireplace, just eating. If there's anything you wish to do, go ahead and let me know. If not, we can go ahead and move on to watch, and you guys can organize how you want to do watch as well.
Can I just check, do a perception check, see where the storm is?
Yeah, go for it. Make a perception check.
Okay. I'm rolling it all today.
11. It's at the point where it's too dark, where the sky all just looks like one matte color, or one universal color. So you can't really even tell if it's there still. So you take that as a good sign.
Okay.
Something kind of cool. And I just realized I can use this. Can I use my Druidcraft to predict the weather at our location for the next 24 hours?
Oh shit, I did not know Druidcraft did that. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay. So you go ahead, you craft Druidcraft. What does it look like when you craft Druidcraft? Or what is your, it's not really a ritual, but what do you do? What does it look like?
So it'd be an orb in my hands that kind of would either be, bright for clear skies or cloudy looking for rain, white for snow.
Okay. You go ahead and you hold your hand out, and this orb kind of starts as a small little flake of dust, and it begins to expand, and then turns into this, like the size of maybe a grapefruit in your hand. And it is this yellow sphere. It's not bright yellow, but it's a yellow sphere, and you can look at it, and it kind of has these little wisps. And you deduce that means sunny, but windy.
The weather looks clear, so we shouldn't have too terrible of a night tonight.
Well, that's good to know.
Alrighty, so with that, how do you guys want to organize watch?
I'll take first watch.
I'll take last watch.
Okay. I'll roll for Scald and say Scald takes middle. So go ahead, whoever takes first watch, everybody begins to bed down. Go ahead and roll your perception check for the first watch, and we will see what happens.
21 again.
21.
Consistent rolls.
Yeah, you peer out, and in this flat land, you can see pretty far. You can tell when something's potentially heading your way. You can hear every little thing. You can hear the small sounds of bugs crawling in the ground. You can hear just the ever so light breeze that's beginning to pick up. And you are making sure that everything is in order. All senses are heightened, and you seem to feel nothing as a threat to you, and eventually it is no longer your turn to keep watch. It was an uneventful night, or at least uneventful part of the night for you?
I'll walk over, slap Scald on the leg, be like, "Up, sleepyhead, time for your watch."
No, not already.
You've been sleeping all day. You'll be fine.
Fine. All right. And he sits up, leans his back up against a tree, and is going to make a perception check with advantage because of his shield. It didn't roll with advantage, but I'm going to do it again. All right, 19.
Much better.
19, not bad. He looks around, kind of holding his shield in his lap, making sure everything's okay, keeping an eye on you two, keeping an eye on Thybrick, making sure that, he's not making any interesting moves, and eventually all is well, and he is able to walk up to Sakudo.
Oh no.
He just looks at him. Nah, not yet. And just taps you on the shoulder. Alright, wake up, buddy. It's your turn.
Oh, no trick this time?
You'll see.
Okay. My goodness, never ceases to amaze me.
Alrighty, go ahead and make a perception check for me. The way I said perception there was weird.
21?
Oh man, y'all popping off tonight. Alrighty, with a 21, despite your nerves, you feel like you're not going to come in contact with anybody from your village. But with the slip up from Volstagg today, with Thybrick, just in conjunction to everything that's been going on, it's definitely weighing heavy on your heart right now, but you can focus through that and keep your eyes open, and it seems to be uneventful, and eventually the sun will begin to rise, and you guys will be back in your cart once again. So, for the sake of expediency, I don't want to play every night out like that. Somebody roll me a d20 to just deduce how your travels go. Ideally, it'll take you about 2 more days to get there. Or more like 1 day. So like you'll travel this next day, you'll sleep, and then halfway through the next day you'll get there.
Okay.
You want to do it, Suck?
Yep, sure. Let's go. 3.
3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So on the second day, right? So we'll say that the first day was this first day that we did, and you guys wake up and you travel halfway through this second day. As you're riding Volstagg and you're driving the cart, the paved trade road begins to get very bumpy all of a sudden and very rigid, and before you know it, one of the wheels breaks off of the cart.
Damn it! Just our luck.
Just throw the car off.
I mean, it halts you to a stop pretty quickly, and it you feel the cart jolt to one side.
Well, that doesn't seem good.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what happened. You're currently just sitting in the back of the cart, but it just suddenly tilts to one side really hard.
Yep, I just leap out.
Alrighty.
I hop down and do investigate.
All right, you go and look, and there was a bigger rock on the side that jammed up into the wheel, kind of cracking the wood, and the wheel just kind of got all wobbly and loose, and then eventually just rolled off. And over on the side of the dirt, you can see the wheel kind of splintered a little bit, but kind of intact. It's not great looking.
Anybody know how to fix a broken wheel?
You see Thybrick kind of pop his head out. Ooh, that doesn't look too good. Yikes.
I can't say I have experience in fixing wheels.
I'm a metal worker, not a miracle worker. So, I can try my best, but I can't guarantee anything.
Does my druid mending work on wood?
Mending?
Yeah.
Honestly, probably. I haven't really thought about mending before. Let me see.
It's like, it says a leaking water skin, a torn cloak.
The spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key. If it can fix metal,
Right?
I would think it would fix this, and it's wood.
Okay.
I would say you could do it. It's not gonna be like, it's not like you're gonna
Perfect.
fix it to brand new,
Right.
but like you could fix it to the point where like it's only gonna do that again if you come across terrain like that again. Like you basically just secure it on, and like if you get into like a crash, like you're done. But yeah, after a couple of minutes, you have to kind of like cast the spell a few different times to kind of make sure that it's perfectly constructing itself in the way that you want. And after about 10 minutes, it looks good. Thybrit kind of like held the cart up for you so you could put the wheel back on, and then kind of gently drops it down. Right, well, there's only one way to find out if that worked.
Yeah, so I say we get back on our journey.
That was pretty interesting. I thought we were gonna have to like do tools and like find wood and like replace it or something. That was saved a lot of time.
Let's
Yeah.
just hope it holds up.
I'm sure it will. Just, I guess, drive a little more carefully.
Yeah, I'll take it easy through this little rough patch here.
Yeah, that's the best.
It might cost us some time, but
I'm sure it'll be all right. You go ahead and you guys get back on the cart. You make your way through. You finish the rest of that day. You have to drive a little bit slower, so over time, that's gonna stack up. So basically, the gist will be is that you go ahead, you sleep, you go the day, the wheel breaks, you'll go the rest of that day, you'll sleep, you'll wake up the next day, and you will begin to travel. It's the wind has picked up a little bit, but it is still sunny outside. It's a lot more breezy in this area. There's no hills to block the wind, so it's all just coming across. And eventually, you begin to get into the later parts of the day, and it eventually begins to get a little bit darker. But as it nears, 7 or 8 o'clock, you do see a gargantuan, like, light source. And as your vision begins to focus and hone in, you can see that it is this extravagantly gigantic city. Similar to that of Ataro, only possibly bigger. It's pretty big. And both of you would know... Actually, go ahead and both of you, because of how secluded you kind of were from the world, go ahead and make history checks for me.
Natural 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ain't too far from your hometown.
All right. So, Volstagg, you spent way too much time just on your own. You didn't really bother much with the history of other areas and cities and stuff like that. You know a lot about the history of the world, but not necessarily the history of its civilizations. But Sakado, due to your militaristic training, you did need to know about some of the other rivaling, city-states and countries and empires. So you would know that, one, most likely, this is Snowcaster, which I think Volstagg would understand as well, but you know that Snowcaster is the capital of the Thorian Empire. So this is where the king lives. This is where most of the nobles reside. This is where most of the Thorian Empire's commerce and trade takes place. This is where most of its monetary value resides. So you know that this is a culturally significant city for many people, just not for anybody in your group except maybe Thybrit right now.
Okay.
So you would know that, and it is definitely a spectacle from this distance. And Thybrit kind of pops out. Oh, I've never seen it this far away at nighttime before. It's kind of like its own sun. Like, kind of have to squint.
I will agree, it is quite the sight to behold.
Huh. Well, if it isn't pretty, I'll tell you that. It's nice. All right, it's starting to get cold. Let's get to that place. It looks like it's warm over there. Like, the lights and all that.
Certainly does.
All right. And don't worry about a place for the night. You can stay at my house.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I don't want you having to spend money for, a shabby inn or something like that.
Oh, well, that is greatly appreciated.
You literally saved my life. So, I mean, I think, the pros outweigh the cons,
Fair enough, if you agree so.
Right. Well, I'll go ahead, and he kind of sits up there with you, Volstagg, and begins to kind of guide you. One, knowing this place very well, and two, being able to lead you through the city. And you can see that there are these giant metal gates as you get closer. Kind of similar to Zota's wooden gates, but just these tall, gargantuan metal gates, kind of lined with these like decals of roses, which is what is on the Thorn Guard armor. And you can see a couple of Thorn Guards positioned there, spears in hands, have some other weapons like swords at the ready, helmets on, just in case. The doors are open. They don't look to be stopping people who are coming in and out of the city. They're just keeping an eye, making sure that nobody's looking suspicious, looking like they're here to cause any trouble. And you're able to just gingerly walk through or cart your way through. And your eyes are blessed by the sheer just beauty of the city. At first it's almost too much to take. Lots of lights, lots of people, crowded in the streets, even though it's, later in the night, or later in the day, I should say. And there are plenty of people still out and about, still shopping, still talking, still chatting. You could see on street corners, you can see, bards, trying to get a couple of gold coins, for the night, or get a job at the local inn. And you kind of go through, and it gives a similar vibe to Ataro, but less, I don't know, it seems more fancy here. Seems more regal. Seems more... seems too high-end for you guys. Ataro was more laid back. This seems like, you see a lot of people dressed very fancily, presumably nobles. You seem out of place, for sure. You're definitely a sight for sore eyes for some people as you walk through. But eventually, you do make your way to Thybrook Marble Might's home, and you can see that it is a wooden shack, not a shack, but a wooden shack with, nice little detailings here and there, a thatched roof, and over to the side, connected to the house, you can see crackling embers and this burning forge that has been built attached to the homestead. And you can see that there is a sign that says the Molten Menagerie. Ah, there she is. Ain't she a beauty?
I agree, quite a sight.
I put a lot of hard work into this one. It's good to be home. Alright, well, enough of that. You can hitch your horses back here, and you can come on in, and we can get sleeping arrangements organized. So yeah, come on. He goes ahead and he takes out a key, begins to unlock the house, walks in, and you guys are now, for the first time in a little bit, the three of you are alone to converse if you wish, or just continue to hitch up the cart and do, whatever you need to do.
Okay. Do you think Thybrook is in earshot at the moment?
I would say no. He went inside.
Okay. I'll still keep my voice down, but I'll just go to the others and say, right, this place is like the capital of the area. this is high chance that people are looking for me around here. We gotta be cautious. So, no slip-ups, otherwise that could be very fatal.
Nah, don't worry.
Yeah,
Easy, Scald. Nah, don't worry. I mean, you got the boots. You're fine, right?
I just kind of give that look of like, not bad.
Not just the boots, but the name as well.
What happened with the name? Did somebody drop your name? Who would be so stupid
Oh.
to do that?
I just turn and glance at Volstagg.
I just kind of turn around and finish hooking up the horses.
Ooh, that's yikes. Lips are sealed, man. Lips are sealed. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go inside.
Yeah, just try best to refer to me as Sign Call.
Cycle.
Okay. All right. And you watch Scald walk in to kind of keep Fiber distracted. But yeah, you guys go ahead and you make your way in. It's a quaint home. It's nothing fancy. It's, a suitable home for a person. There's an upstairs, and downstairs there's kind of this nice little seating area, a couple of couches. He says, right, you can make yourself comfortable down here. I can get some extra blankets, and it's not going to be the most comfortable thing ever, but it's better than spending money.
I can agree.
So, help yourself to any food. I haven't been here in a while, so stale bread, maybe. I'll get us some food. Don't worry about that. I'll go get us some food, because this isn't gonna do it for any of us. I promise you that. I'll be back. Do you need anything while I'm gone? While I'm out?
No, I believe I have everything I need.
Don't mind, could I tag along with you?
Sure, of course. You all right by yourselves then?
Oh yes, I'll be fine.
All right then. Come on with me, Volstagg. We'll get something to eat for you lads. Do you have anything? You have any preferences of what you like to eat?
Oh no, it's fine. I'll eat anything.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, we'll be back then. Should only take a couple of minutes, and make yourselves at home. And he walks out his door and kind of opens it, kind of ushers you, and closes it behind you, and begins to walk through the city. You looking for anything in particular, or just wanting to walk through the city?
Little folks. Wanted to ask you if you had any sort of, I know you're a metal smith, but do you have any wooden staffs that purchased from you, or perhaps know where I could get such a thing?
Woodworking's not really my thing. I'm sure you could ask around. I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to find. It might take a couple of days to, get that commissioned through. Because if anything, someone will have to carve one from scratch.
Right.
But if you needed a metal staff, now that's a completely different story.
I will keep this one natural.
Understandable. Not like in metal, huh? I can tell you don't wear a lot of it.
That's not that I don't like it. I'm just nature. Metal's fine, but I prefer it more in a non-refined state.
I understand that. If only they could make shields out of rocks, huh?
Yeah.
Well, alright. I could maybe try and ask around. I have some friends in the leather business, so maybe I have some people that could ask around and maybe find someone in the wood business.
Would be very nice of you, and I would be very thankful.
I can do that first thing in the morning. When do you plan to see the Arcanist?
Well, probably first thing in the morning.
Right.
Travel up to him.
And he kind of turns around and turns you around with him, and he points you up further down, but kind of, so the city is kind of, it's very big, obviously, but Otaro was very wide. This city is built vertically. There's a lot of different levels to the city. Like the base level, then there's like a higher level, and as you go up and higher to each tier is like almost neighborhoods. It obviously will get a little bit more fancier, a little bit more regal, and you can see at the top is a giant castle. Not like a castle, but more of like a keep, I guess would be the word that I'm looking for there. And he says, that right there is where the king lives. And then he kind of turns your head like just slightly, like a 30-degree angle. And you can see that not on the same level, but maybe a couple of levels down, is this huge tower made of a deep black stone and what looks like some accents of maybe ivory or white stone, marble maybe, and stained glass windows of purple and violet. That would be the Arcanist's place. So that's where you'll be heading tomorrow morning.
I should probably ask as well. Does the Arcanist have a name?
I don't know his first name, but from what I remember, I think he was Arcanist Willowgin, like willow, like the tree, and gin, like the drink.
Thank you.
I think his first name started with maybe an O. I don't remember. It was more of a business relationship, so just calling him the Arcanist was really what was the go-to. So yeah, Arcanist Willowgin, I guess, would be a formal way to address him, unless he says otherwise.
I guess I'll find out tomorrow, but that's something more to go on.
And feel free to drop my name if you need to. Well, all right. What are you hungry for? What should we get these fellows?
Oh, I don't know. I'm quite in the mood for anything, really. Surviving on rations the last few weeks has been a little daunting. You start to crave any home-cooked meal after that.
You could tell me that twice. All right, I'm thinking definitely some bread and how about some veal?
Some veal.
Something just...
Maybe some eggs as well? Some veal and eggs?
Why not? Can never go wrong with a couple of eggs. All right, let's do that then. He goes ahead and he starts leading you through the city. He eventually goes and meets up with a butcher, goes and meets up with a baker, eventually grabs all the things you guys would need for a dinner. Just kind of a home-cooked but pieced-together meal that, he makes, and, whoever wants to help can help him when he gets back, and just makes this meal and eventually fills your stomachs very good, very home-cooked, and you kind of sit there, like, holding your stomachs like, man, that was some good stuff. And he's sitting there kind of leaning back in a chair. Oh boy, that'll put a damper in your stomach, huh? Oh man, I think it's time for sleep. Seems like your friend over there has already got one step ahead of me. And Scald's out.
Scald as usual.
Well, that's gonna be it for me, lads. I'm gonna go upstairs and get some sleep for the night. If you need me, just come get me.
Will do.
He goes ahead and he makes his way upstairs. And the two of you are now just sitting in the living room. What do you wish to do?
Is there any windows in this room?
Yes, but they have curtains pulled back.
Okay. I'll just double check all the curtains are pulled back.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I think I'm about ready to go to sleep then.
All right. So, no need for watch, as it's simple enough to figure out. And you guys go ahead and you sleep. You can go ahead and restore anything that may need restoring. I don't think anybody used any spell slots, but in case you did, you can restore those. And with that, it is an early morning. You hear the sound of Fabric outside, currently pumping the coals, igniting the flames, getting ready to get back into work. You can hear the pounding of metal as he is already back into the groove of things. And you guys wake up, and you try to wake Scald up, and he's just like, no, go. It's too early. Go on without me. And he just falls back asleep. So
We need to fix this man's sleeping issue. My
Really
goodness.
do. But that's for another time. We have business here.
Yes, we do.
alrighty. So you go ahead and you make your way outside. You open the door and you can smell the fresh air as it hits your face. Bright sunlight kind of gleaming off. Everything's this light, like almost not white, but like a very gray stone that the sun just kind of like reflects off, and it's almost blinding. And as you walk out, you hear a whistle, and you see Marble Mite kind of waving in your direction.
Give him a wave back.
The earliest riser.
Hey,
Agreed.
good morning. Hopefully you slept well.
Yes,
Yes.
slept fine.
That's good. Well, so I've got a lot of work to catch up on. When you're out for such a long time, apparently work piles up. So, I'll be busy for pretty much the rest of the day. And I promise I'll get on a special project for you. But in the meantime, you guys do what you have to do for the day. I'll do mine, and then we'll meet back up here tonight then.
Any word on our staff?
Thank you for reminding me. I'll put in a word, and I'll let you know by the end of the night.
Thank you.
Right, sorry about that, I forgot.
Oh, you were fine.
Alright, well, hopefully you have a good day with the Arcanist, and if not, well, at least you tried.
Yeah, we'll see.
Alright, get on out of here. Yeah, your best bet's to probably go that way. And points in a direction that's kind of towards, but you wouldn't have guessed maybe would have been the right way to go, because you're like, okay, we'll just travel towards it, but you kind of have to go up first. And so,
Well, that's simple. Wanna make our way to the Arcanist?
Yeah.
all right. So, you go ahead, you begin to make your way up, traveling on foot through the city as you are going, I guess not deeper into the city, but, you know, upper into the city. You begin to travel upwards. You can definitely start telling as you get closer and closer toward the top that it does get a lot fancier, a lot. If you already felt out of place down at the bottom, so as you get higher and higher, it's even worse. But thankfully, not too many stairs. People don't look too judgmental. They're just kind of like, huh, wonder what these people are doing here. And eventually, it's about, it's a hefty walk. It's probably a 20-minute walk, to kind of go up, and then you have to travel further a little bit. And eventually, you come to the base of this gargantuan tower. Like I said, this black stone kind of inlaid with ivory, these violet windows, a little bit of maybe dyed stone to be kind of this violet lavender color. And you can see that kind of there's like this gated off, like fenced off area, and above it is a sign that reads the Crystal Rose Tower. I'm sorry, Spire, not tower. Same thing. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. But Crystal Rose Spire.
Well, that's a sight.
Is something. That's for sure.
And it's not necessarily gated. It's just kind of got like an archway with that kind of engraved on it. So you can kind of walk more towards. You can see that there is an archway that would lead into a door connected to the tower further ahead.
Head up towards the door.
Yes, let's press onwards.
Alrighty. So you go ahead, you walk through. As you walk through, you can see that there is kind of a little garden of sorts, little bits of flowers, roses, growing in some sunflowers, just a small little garden, nothing too fancy, just to, take away from the copious amounts of stone and glass. Kind of similar to how the Daybreak Sanctum, even though in the middle of the desert, had a little garden to kind of change things up a little bit. And with that, you walk up to these kind of stone double doors. And do you knock?
Does it have any sort of like knocking device on it?
Yeah, it'll have, so on either door, it'll have what looks to be like a how do I describe this? Like a intricate design that kind of leads into these two handles. Kind of almost like like the bull horn nose ring. Like it's like one of those knockers. I don't know what those are called. I think those are just called knockers. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's two of those on either door. Knockers. Giggity.
Skull's not here, so we have to do it.
Yeah, somebody has to do it. You know what I mean?
All right, so yeah, I grab one of the knockers, knock a couple times.
Alrighty. So, you go ahead, you knock on the door, and you see that there's like what's it called? Like a little slit that kind of opens a little bit, and you see that there is this well, you can't really see. You see two pairs of eyes look back at you. And kind of glances down at you. What do you do when you see these eyes?
Hello. Volstagg. Looking for the Arcanist, Willowgin?
Ah, yes. The Arcanist. He doesn't take visitors.
I had heard that a friend of mine's, Thybrick, said that he may meet with me.
Thybrick.
If I, the dwarven forger.
Oh, Marblemite.
Yes, Thybrick Marblemite.
Give me 1 second, please. And you watch as the slit closes, and you hear footsteps lead away from the door. And so you guys have some time to sit there with each other.
Well, this is going about as well as expected.
Well, we got a response. So, I'd say that's progress.
I was really hoping not to have to drop Thybrick's name, but it might be our only in.
It looks that way.
And after a couple of seconds, you see the slit open back up. The Arcanist is pretty busy, but he can squeeze you in for a couple of minutes. But once those minutes are up, I will have to escort you out.
Thank you.
You go ahead and you hear these locks just... And a bunch of different locks, and then the door opens, and you see this human male, very light white hair that kind of slicks down past and kind of droops down below his ears. Kind of a pointed like goatee mustache combo that kind of turns into a point at the bottom. Whilst looking very old, probably in his late 60s, he seems very healthy in the face. Not very many wrinkles as you would expect. Has his arms behind his back. Yes, this way please, and I will escort you to the Arcanist myself.
Thank you. Do you have a name?
Of course I have a name. My name is Reginald.
Well, thank you, Reginald.
Of course. It's funny that you think I might not have a name. I may be a servant, but I'm not a imbecile. Right, this way.
Probably should have worded that a little different.
Well, it happens. Right, this way, please. and you begin to enter, and you walk in. He closes the door, and you look up, and it is this just vertical spire of many different levels. It looks a lot bigger in here than it looks on the outside, even though from the outside it looks huge. But it is tall, and there is a spiral staircase that goes all the way up to the top. And you see an individual kind of sitting at a desk over in the corner, writing. He's got a pair of spectacles on, and you see that it is this small humanoid, a gnomish individual with kind of slicked back hair, kind of similar in Scalds to a sense, this orange, bright orange hair, a very cleanly cleanly created beard, not thick, but almost just like up the chin, down, a little mustache, just a nice, well-kept beard. And he looks up and then looks right back down to his work and begins to scribble and kind of does the motion of like, go ahead and bring them. And there's 2 chairs. And Reginald says, the Arcanist. And he begins to walk back. And you two are presented with chairs, and the Arcanist is currently sitting, writing some stuff down in a book.
Hello, Arcanist Willogen. My name is Volstagg. This is my cohort, Sincole.
Well, pleasure to meet you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the most available man in the world. So if you could make this snappy, that would be greatly appreciated.
Of course. I have recently learned of a staff, Staff of the Woodlands, and I've been seeking one to help me harness my full druidic potential. And I was wondering if you could help me make such an item.
Staff of the Woodlands. Well, and he kind of closes his book. Seems intrigued now. Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Staff of the Woodlands are typically created in conjunction with high-ranking druids. It's not necessarily related to the arcane. It's its own subset of magic. Look, I'm not trying to insinuate that you're stupid by any means, but there's 3 different forms of magic. There is arcane, which is your most standard magic. There is the druidic magics, which I presume is what you're referencing to, and then there is the more divine magics. When it comes to druid magic, that's not really, it's its own separate entity altogether. So unfortunately, that is not something in my wheelhouse, but I appreciate you for thinking of me. May I ask how you know of me?
Lady who sells items in what's that town?
Or Tinsley?
Port Tinsley. She directed me towards you, saying that if you couldn't make it, perhaps you may know of someone who could.
Well, he kind of turns around and you can see there's this gigantic bookshelf that goes up multiple stories. He just turns around and you watch as he just levitates up. Just gingerly, just begins to float. Staff of the Woodlands, Staff of the Woodlands, Staff of the Woodlands. Okay. Pulls out this book, kind of gently floats down. Staff of the Woodlands, typically created in conjunction with Arc Druids. Yes. Okay. You see, the thing about Staff of the Woodlands is that they are granted as acknowledgements of somebody's chiefdomship. God damn it. Hold on. Let me rephrase the word. Chiefdomship. Somebody who is a chief of a tribe or a ruler of an area. They're not handed out willy-nilly to just anybody who wants one, unfortunately. If that was the case, everyone would have one. So, in terms of where to find one, steal it from a chieftain, rob it from a corpse. I'm joking, by the way. But unfortunately, obtaining one of those is an act of proving to be worthy. So, and you watch his eyes just flash for a minute. This very gray color. Kind of similar to when Scald cast Detect Magic. And he looks at you, both of you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. He immediately turns to Sakura. Listen, I don't know what you're thinking, coming in here pretending to be somebody else, but you're gonna need to drop that, or we're gonna have issues.
I guess you can't fool a arcanist of your stature.
No.
And I drop disguise self. Believe me, I didn't do this in harm. I did this in protection of my friends.
Protection of your friends, huh? Well, clearly you don't seem familiar to me, so obviously you're not trying to hide from me, so who are you hiding from?
It's a bit complicated. I don't believe you have the time for it.
Well, you're in my abode now, and considering I don't understand the intentions, I think I can make time for it, if you will only just explain. Because explaining will be the difference between jail and freedom. So, I'm listening.
Okay. Have you heard of a village called Calcine?
Can't say that I do.
Let's just say I'm not very well favored in that village, and they've got people pretty far out looking for me.
So you hide, so to not be caught, so that you don't have to face repercussions. Understandable, it's the same story. Well, okay then. Okay, well then what's your deal then? He's hiding from something, and you genuinely are curious, or is there some ulterior motive here? Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, people come here asking for a lot of different favors. So, forgive me if I don't believe that this is just a information-gathering mission.
All it is, we're on our way back to my home in the Gilmark Heights, and these druidic powers weren't really taught to me or gifted to me. They weren't gifted to me, but I was never properly trained. Upon learning of the staff, I figured it'd be my best bet to fully grasping them.
Okay, I think I missed that part. So you are of druidic nature, then? I think I might have missed that as part of, or unless you didn't say. Okay. Now, forgive me if I seem very defensive, as for when somebody comes in under the influence of magic, I get very protective of my property. So, plus, to be completely honest, no idea who you are. You could kill me at any moment. Well, you could try. And, that won't end well. So, let's just say currently our relationship is very diluted. Okay. So you're a druid. Or at least are of some form of druidic circle.
Yes.
Okay. And you came across knowledge of the Staff of Woodlands how exactly?
My late mentor, Hogan, he did his best to try and teach me how to harness my powers.
Okay. All right. That tracks then. Okay. You, though, and turns back to you, Sakura. I'm really interested in you. No offense. And looks over at Volstagg. But hiding away. But where did you say this village was again?
Calcine.
How far away is that from here?
I'd estimate roughly a 3 to 5 day journey.
It's pretty close. It's a lot to risk.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hold on. I need to double check this. Because I want to make sure that I get this right so I don't get flamed. Sorry, let me just... Sorry, guys, things like this happen very often, so Okay. You watch as he pulls out a wand and begins to cast a spell. And he is looking at you, and he's very intent at you. Not necessarily looking you in your eyes, but just kind of, looking at you.
I'm making an insight check to see if he has got any malice.
Sure. Go ahead and make an insight check.
9.
You can't tell. Doesn't seem malicious. I mean, he's not particularly happy with the fact you came in here under a spell, so he feels deceived, and he feels as if something is afoot. Doesn't necessarily understand the motives here. But could you tell me at this moment, or at least right before you kind of did your insight check on him, what was going in your head? What was like the thought going on? They were just talking about Kalsang with you, and so what were you thinking of at that moment?
If he was just pretending to not know about Kalsang, and if he was contacting anyone secretly.
Okay. He looks at you. No, I'm not contacting anybody, and no, I don't know where Kalsang is. I'm just curious as to what's your deal. And you feel this sharp pain in your head, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Volstag's just very confused about what is happening right now.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Well, 2 actually. Is this going to charm me?
This is not going to charm you.
Is it going to put me to sleep?
He is not putting you to sleep either.
Okay, well. 16. Oh, that was a bit cocked.
16. All right.
Yep.
That just fails. And you feel a probing into your mind. Like, you feel as if somebody is digging, like hands are digging through your brain cavity, looking through your head like a filing cabinet, just kind of searching for something, prying deep into your brain. You feel it kind of buzzing. It feels like whenever you would have those terrible headaches as a child that eventually turned into your psionic abilities. And eventually it fades. And Volstagg, from your outside perspective, you see him pull out a wand, kind of say a couple of things, and then Sakudo starts reeling in pain, but the Arcanist's face does not change. It's almost like he's not seeing through his own eyes at the moment.
What are you doing, my friend?
He just puts his hand up at you. Don't worry, I'm not hurting him. And eventually, Sakudo, it goes away, and his eyes go from that gray to the regular color of his eyes. And he says, well, if that's not a diluted past, I don't know what is. You've done some pretty interesting things, haven't you?
I cannot say that I was a fan of that.
Well, I didn't ask. Listen, you come into my tower, try to deceive me. I don't know what your intentions are. You haven't killed me yet, so obviously something's not going completely wrong here, but now I understand your intentions a little bit more. So, you're a, what do you call it? A vigilante, I suppose.
That's one way of putting it.
Huh. Now I understand why you're hiding. Well, if it makes you feel better, you can put your disguise back on. But actually, I'm curious. While I was, looking through, I noticed something that seemed a little off. I
Oh.
saw this imagery. I saw a lot of imagery, lots of blood. But I saw these daggers. Now, I'm gonna be blatant with you. I casted a spell and could only deduce certain things on your person were magical, but I'm not seeing these daggers. So, what's that about?
Oh, you mean these things? And I, apparate a dagger in my hand.
And you can see that even though he just probed into your mind and literally learned almost everything about you, he is in visible shock and awe and is just very visibly like impressed. There's like a small smile on his face.
Oh, and I've got a big fat grin on my face.
Huh. So, this has just become a lot more interesting. And he looks over at Reginald. Reginald, I'm gonna need you to postpone all my activities for the day. Something extremely more important just popped up.
Oh, there's more where that came from, my dear friend.
Good. Well, I think we now have something to talk about. Follow me. And he begins to make his way upstairs into this chamber. And do the both of you walk in?
Yes.
Okay, and he closes it gingerly behind. You, sir, have just become a lot more interesting to me.
That seems to be the case quite often with you.
So, I'm gonna need to understand this a little bit more. What is this exactly? Is this some form of... What is this? You know what? Let me, if you wouldn't mind, allow me to do what I just did again. Probe into your brain.
And what exactly will you be looking for this time?
I want to understand what's going on here. Because if I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's not every day you see a surface world individual producing the same effects as someone from some of the more, not well-renowned underbellies of the world. It's very unorthodox for a wood elf to have powers like this. Is this some sort of extraplanar deal? Any deals with devils, fays, anything of the sort like that?
I don't believe I've made a deal with any of them.
So you lead me to believe that these just showed up one day?
Well, I don't believe they showed up out of nowhere.
Well,
I'm
just... You have to understand where I'm coming from here because, like I said, it's completely unorthodox for a, surface-level dweller to, I don't know if you know this, but what this is similar to me is psionics, which is a completely different subset of, not even magic to begin with. Like I said, there's divine, there's arcane, and there's druidic. But this is a completely different subset, and it's not even technically magic. Most likely, not most likely, it's very consistent in illithids, or mind flayers. I just am very confused as to how this happened. Have you ever come in contact with a mind flayer, ever?
I just sit there and scratch my head a little bit.
Huh.
No, I don't believe I have.
This is extraordinary. This is something that has almost never been seen before. You're telling me this is like hereditary? This is genetic? Like you were just born with this?
Well, I don't believe anyone in my family has this power. I mean, I don't think anyone else in my family had red eyes.
I didn't even think about that, but that's not even really important right now. Wow. That's incredible. Okay, well, this changes a lot. Well, first things first. I'm very interested in you. You possess something that is unseen in, well, most regular humanoids. And this could be a very big breakthrough in many different fields. I'll make you a deal.
Oh?
If you choose to accept it, that is. You allow me to perform a couple of tests on you, deduce where this came from. It also helps you gain a little backstory of your entire life, and, well, potentially some of your ancestors' lives to understand what's going on. I get to use the research to, gain accolades and other developments. And in exchange, I won't hand you over to the Kalsang authorities.
Oh, that's...
That's
Wow,
not
you
a very
really
good
went
trade.
there.
Look, I'm not going to do anything devious to you. I just want a couple of blood samples and maybe a little bit of your hair.
Okay.
You know what?
I would...
You're right. Maybe that's a little rude. You came to me asking for information, and I unwillingly and unconsentfully probed into your mind. Fine. Let's drop that part. Because you're far more valuable to me here than you are in a Kalsang prison. Or in any prison, for that matter. In exchange for allowing me to gain some information off of your genetics and your hereditary line, I will personally work with Marble Might to create something that is beneficial for you.
I would like to cast Psionic Whispers. I have already rolled the dice for 5 hours.
Okay.
My target is the Arcanist.
Okay.
And I say to him, you have yourself a deal.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. And that's where we're going to end this episode. So things have just gotten a lot more interesting, and we're just going to have to see how they play out in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and watch all the other videos. Go and support all the homies down below, all the artists, all of the beautiful players. And yeah, we will see where this story continues, and hopefully it continues well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for being here once again. Keep yourselves safe. Enjoy your squirt sticks, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
See ya.